All right, welcome in everybody. I want to make sure that we get enough practice time in, so I'm going to just try to summarize this really quickly and make sure that everybody's on the same page. So the path of yoga is the path towards samadhi, the dissolving of the ego, the identities within us. So we have this, not just identity, but or the ego, but the parts of our mind that are engrossed in what's outside of us. So the ego tries to form these little boxes of identity, and it puts us into these boxes like I am a yoga teacher, I am a husband, I am a child, I am a grandparent, whatever. We have these boxes that we get put into, and then all of our belief systems form around that, and our way in which we view life form around our identities. And that becomes a problem because when we try to connect with others, we're limited by all of our different identities. So part of the path of yoga is to make the ego more flexible, more open to identify with all there is, and to not be so confined to the roles that we play, but to be able to switch those roles very easily. Now, part of the path of to dissolve the ego, or at least to make it more flexible is a better way of saying it, is to experience this state of oneness that the yogis call samadhi. And this can be experienced by practicing meditation, yoga, pranayama, but the Yoga Sutras lays it out very simply. The path is the utilization of effort within us, that we need to show up routinely to cleanse the mind, to do the practices, to cleanse the physical body, to cleanse the mind, to do the breathwork practices so that our energy levels are on the right page. So optimizing our health, optimizing our mental health, optimizing our physical health, right? If we can do all of that, then we're much better set up to experience samadhi. Now the next step to experience samadhi is through routine practice. We learn to focus the energy of the mind, called the vrittis, all of the rise and fall, the mental chatter, everything within the mind is, we're talking about ego here, but we're also talking about manas, which we talked about last time. Manas is the reactions of the mind based on the senses. So you see something, you react. You smell something, you react. You hear something, you react. You taste something, you react. We have all of these from our memory bank, smriti. We have all of these past experiences also interrupting our perception of the present. And this is why so many people can be in the same room at one time, all having different experiences and different stories to tell. Someone can have a really great time at that party last night while someone else was miserable. And that's even if we sat in the same conversations and did the same things. And this is because we have a smriti, a memory bank, that is constantly affecting the way that we see the present moment. And samadhi also helps us to be aware that this is happening, so that we can step into the moment here and now without being held back by our past. And this allows all of us to connect more fully. And that connection of oneness, of unity, can only be had when all of us are doing the work to shed the, to doing the practices to harness the attention of the mind to be here in this present moment now. And that's where connection can happen. Now, there are many reasons why abhyasa, which is that practice, the routine effort of stepping in, why we would fail on this path. And one really great passage in the Yoga Sutras, one of the sutras, a section 2.3 through 2.9, talks about the kleshas. And this is like the twists of the mind that basically hold us back from doing what we know is good for us. Everyone is held back. Everyone knows there's a bunch of things that we should do, but we don't do it. The question is why? So we know that we should practice yoga often, or we know that we should meditate. We know that we should breathe, pranayama, do the things that are going to ultimately lead us to freedom mentally, emotionally, and physically, and yet we don't do it. So the question is why? And the kleshas give us some insight here, especially these two. There are 5 kleshas, 5 twists of the mind. So the 5 kleshas are what cause the mind to become engrossed in belief patterns and create mental disequilibrium and psychological distress. The 5 kleshas are avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesha. I don't want to get too deep in each of these, so I'm not even going to define them except for these two. Raga is our mind's attachment to those things that we like and are attracted to. And Dvesha is the opposite. It's our mind's rejection of those things that we dislike and are adverse to. Now, the majority of us dislike effort, willpower, that when we're uninspired and unmotivated, most of us don't like to take action because motivation and inspiration are the energies of action. And so when those aren't present, we don't like to put effort forth. And so our avoidance of taking action when we are in that place of feeling uninspired and motivation is one of the problems in this yogic path, because the mind will always tend to avoid that which it is not attracted to or does not like. And raga, on the opposite, is the attachment to the things that we do like. We find all sorts of really excellent excuses that people will get on board with and say, yes, you're right, you shouldn't do that thing, you shouldn't take that risk because it's safer to do this, or you shouldn't do what makes you happy because you don't deserve. There's all ways in which the ego and the mind will start forming belief patterns, and then, like a really excellent lawyer, forms a case for why we should or should not, for why we should avoid something or why we should attach to something. And so this, according to the Yoga Sutras, is what creates mental disequilibrium. So what's the solution? Well, abhyasa, again, it's to put effort forth, to remember that we practice regardless, and it's not just practicing asana, but practice the yoga, the real yoga, which is self-inquiry, self-awareness, as we taught last time, swadhyaya, this self-inquiry to ask ourselves the challenging questions. Why am I judging this person? Why am I avoiding this action? Why am I attached to this role in society? All of those things are questions, and these questions, self-inquiry, lead us to the ultimate goal of yoga, capital A, awareness, to be aware, to be in that position of ultimately seeing ourselves from a different perspective, rather from the little perspective of the mind and its belief systems. We can pull out and experience the fullness of all there is. We can re-identify with a being of nature. And this ultimately, I think, is one of the magnificent teachings of yoga, is that if we abhyasa, practice moving towards the things that we are adverse to, the things that we have an aversion to, the things that we want to avoid because they might be challenging, because they might make us feel like we are wrong, right? Like you would avoid a hard conversation when you know that the outcome is you might be changing your belief system as a result, right? So we're gonna avoid things that we know maybe are good for us or are important to us, just because they're unfamiliar, because there's fear there, because there's a whole host of reasons. And yoga is saying, don't avoid those things. That's actually a twist of the mind. That's part of what's causing us this disequilibrium in the mind. And then it's saying, well, you're always attracted to these things. Well, how about we take a break from those? Instead of being so attached to the things that we know and are comfortable and we are attracted to, well, relax on those for a little bit. And again, these are practices. They're not the way that you have to live your life all the time. But if you are practicing yoga in this way, then abhyasa, to put effort forth in the things, in recognizing what we are adverse to, what we are avoiding, and recognize what we are attached to and what we are grasping for. In this way, if we're first putting effort forth to being aware of it, then we have at least the freedom to take action. And then action would be the second part of that equation, okay? Abhyasa requires action. All right, so let's get going. I apologize for the delay in the beginning here. Raga and Dvesha, attachment and avoidance, really great teachings of the Yoga Sutras. And again, I'll just kind of tell you right now, if you have Tantra of the Yoga Sutras, it's page 42, and this is Sutra 2.3. Raga is attachment, Dvesha, avoidance. Those are some other kleshas in there that are super powerful as well, but this is what we're staying with today. Okay, so as we practice yoga, asana, You're going to notice what you're attached to and avoid and what you avoid. Some of you are avoidant of sitting still for a little while. And so seated meditation is tough. Some of you are avoidant of reflecting in the mind, seeing what's there for you. And so we don't do the meditation section. Some of you are avoidant of putting physical effort forth. And so you're not going to hold a posture too long. Some of you are avoidant of sweating. Or some of you are attached to sweating. And so then you do the practice a little bit too hard, right? Notice those things. That's all. Let's come to all fours, hands and knees. By the way, we are going to do a different breath work today, pranayama. And so you might want to have a tissue nearby. You don't need it now, but if you have one, great. On the next breath in, whenever it comes around, arch the back and look up. As you exhale, round the spine and gaze towards the navel. The breath is through the nose. Inhale, arch the back, the entire yoga practice. And exhale, round. We create this whisper called Ujjayi. Inhale, arch the back and look up, which helps us control the tempo of our inhalations and exhalations. Exhale, round, which in turn actually controls the tempo of our heartbeat. Inhale, arch and look up. Controlling the heartbeat controls our disposition, our mental, and exhale, round, an emotional experience. When the heart is slower, inhale, arch. Then we have parasympathetic nervous system, which is awake. Continue, exhale, round. When the heart is faster, you have sympathetic nervous system, which is awake. Inhale, arch and look up. Lead to downward facing dog, tailbone goes up. Feel free to bend the knees, move around any amount you'd like. And when we are in a slower paced heart rate, parasympathetic nervous system, there are emotions that will naturally go along with that because there are certain neurochemicals flooding our brain and our body at that time. And when our heart rate is faster, there are emotions and thoughts that go along with that because there are certain neurochemicals and hormones that are flooding our brain and body at that time. So when we practice asana, we're going to have more adrenaline, more acetylcholine going on. These are just neuromodulators and hormones that make us feel and think a certain way. Also, we have cortisol in our system. Okay, so cortisol, you probably know as the stress hormone. Please come forward to plank pose. Inhale. Place the knees down and lower all the way to the ground. Inhale, arch the back, lift the chest, just easefully. Exhale through the nose, release. Heart and feet. Inhale, lift heart up, lift feet up. Exhale, release. Heart, hands, and feet. Inhale. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky on the inhale. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Hold here and breathe. Now, cortisol is when you know it as something that causes stress, some people are addicted to that stress. So they continuously place themselves in stressful situations. Okay, so they are attached to it, raga. Some people avoid stress, so they avoid challenging situations. So when they get into a yoga pose or a life situation, they will run away from it. They won't interact, they won't engage. Straighten the leg on the next inhale, square the hip. Exhale, step right foot forward. High up on the fingertips and take a breath. Exhale it out. Pull your 2 feet toward each other and lift the hips up. So drag the feet and lift the hips. And now start to round the upper back. As you exhale, twist the belly, turn the chest, pull the right shoulder back and reach the right hand up. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, unwind, right hand touches the earth. Exhale, twist. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Right hand to the inside of the right foot. Inhale, pivot the back heel down, turn the hips. Exhale, open twist, left hand to the sky in the side angle. Inhale, unwind. You can actually reach your left hand underneath your thigh, maybe grab your right buttocks and pull it under as you exhale. Scoop the tailbone, then turn the belly and the chest. One more. Inhale. Self-adjustment, pull the pelvis underneath, then turn the belly, chest. Both hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up. Step to chaturanga as you exhale, either knees down or not. Inhale, curl the heart open. Lift the hands and feet. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Tailbone up, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Bend the knee, open up your hip and stretch the left side body. As we breathe here, cortisol, that stress hormone, those that are attached to that feeling of stress because maybe they were raised in stress, so that's their comfort zone, will deliberately poke and prod at their life and other people around them in order to consistently experience stress so that they feel safe. And then others that avoid it will find every reason not to do something that is challenging, not to take on the challenges of life, but rather sit in the comforts. So everyone is seeking what they already know. Straighten the leg, what they're already attached to. Step forward. They're seeking comfort zones. Inhale and exhale. They're seeking to stay in what they're already attracted to, raga, attachment. Pull your feet toward each other, round the upper back, breathe in. Press down through your left heel, twist, turn the belly, turn the chest. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. As you inhale, unwind, hand to the inside of the foot, back heel down. Scoop the sit bone underneath. Turn the belly, turn the chest, inside angle. Inhale, unwind, and you can grab underneath your left buttocks for a self-adjustment. Scoop the left sit bone under, turn the belly as you exhale. One more, inhale. Inhale to unwind. Pivot the back heel up. Step to chaturanga as you exhale. This time, slide your hands and feet wider. Three-part cobra. Inhale, lift the front body up. As you exhale, melt the midsection, the middle back, the low back, shoulders go back. Stretch the abdomen upward. Lift up through the back of the skull. Exhale to release. Let's do another one. Inhale, lift the front body. Soften, midsection hangs down, it relaxes, settles, shoulders back. Stretch the inner belly up, pull the abdomen up towards the heart, up through the skull. Exhale to release. All fours, hands and knees. Tailbone leads the way up into downward facing dog. So now the question is, are you more addicted to, or attached is a better word, raga, are you more attached to the sympathetic, which is going to be the up energy, which is, again, going to be more of the acetylcholine, which we don't only talk about too much, but adrenaline is one that we know of. Norepinephrine is the same
thing in the mind, or in the brain, I should say, and cortisol. So are you more addicted to the stressors, the uppers, the high energy experience, the challenges of life? Are you more attached to that? Or are you more attached to relaxation, letting go, avoiding, or are we attached to avoidance itself? Do we avoid challenges? Do we avoid struggles, hard conversations, physical activity, whatever it might be? Walk the feet to the front of the mat. Can you be aware of that, or are you kind of more attached to the parasympathetic, that is? Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. When you're aware of it, you can start to see how your belief systems begin to form around that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. One more, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Interlace the hands behind the back, stretch the shoulders open. So one easy way to form a belief system, if you're more attached, raga, to the parasympathetic, the down regulation part of the system, then, and you avoid dvesha, you avoid getting anything that would stimulate you, overstimulate you. So you avoid arguments, you avoid conflict, you avoid challenges, you avoid things that require effort. If you're in that place, you would probably not be one of those persons that would be goal setting and stepping out on a limb and taking risks either mentally, physically, or emotionally in your life towards, your potential. So you'd hold yourself back because you don't want to experience the discomfort of simply feeling adrenaline pumping through your veins, simply feeling norepinephrine, which is like adrenaline but in the brain, or the stress hormone. You don't want to feel stress, so you don't want to learn new things, which requires the feeling of stress. Hands to the hips, rise all the way up. So now you have a belief system that experience is bad, and so you avoid it altogether, Tadasana. And vice versa. So if you are the kind of person that believes that, or that is attached, raga, to the sympathetic nervous system, the up energy, then you're probably going to avoid things that would relax you. You would avoid calming down, taking a moment to read a book in a hammock or whatever. And you can really stop yourself. Falling asleep would be hard, right? And taking time not to do work. So if you recognize which side of the spectrum you're attached to, you can then start to realize that this is just attachment and avoidance. And practicing what is hard for me is ultimately what's going to free my mind and body and my life altogether. Inhale, reach the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Left foot steps back as you exhale. This time, come up to high lunge. Inhale, press down into your feet, hands to the sky. As you exhale, we're gonna take like a bow and arrow to twist, like pull your right elbow back and then reach your right hand back. The right hand's gonna come forward and up. Inhale, high lunge. Same thing, you're gonna do like a bow and arrow, pull. Again, inhale, reach up. Last time. Reverse warrior, arms reverse. Pivot the back heel down, inhale. Hold to your exhale. 2 more breaths. Remember, the breath is slow and steady through the nose. 1 more breath. Exhale, release the hands to the ground. Plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga. Hands and feet wide, 3-part cobra. Inhale, lift the front body. Hey, Subui, welcome in. Exhale, soften. Inhale, stretch the belly up, stretch the back of the skull. Exhale, release. Plank or all fours, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath in here. One breath out. Right leg to the sky on the inhale. Step right foot forward. High lunge, rise up. Open up, warrior two. Pause here. Let's take a breath. Soften. Two more. Inhale. One more breath. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up. Inhale, step forward, half lift. Exhale, bow. Rise to the sun, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart. Second side, inhale. Exhale, bow. Half lift, inhale. Right leg back. High lunge, push into your feet, rise up. Exhale, archer. Inhale. Again, exhale. Inhale. One more, exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. Hold here, exhale. Two more breaths. One more. Exhale, hands to the ground. Plank, inhale. Chaturanga. Slide hands and feet wide. Three-part cobra, inhale. Melt. Inhale, lengthen. Pull the chest forward. Exhale, release. Plank or all fours, inhale. Exhale, down dog. One slow, steady breath in. Notice if the mind is attaching or avoiding something. Attaching to stillness, attaching to movement, whatever it might be. Left leg to the sky. Step forward. High lunge, rise. Warrior two. And we hold. Pull the feet toward each other. Slow and steady through the breath. Soft eyes today. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up, turn the pelvis. Step forward, inhale. Exhale, bow. To the sun, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva. Exhale, bow. Halfway lift, inhale. Step both feet back or hop, Chaturanga. Slide hands and feet wide, three-part cobra. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen. Release.
all fours or plank. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward. High lunge, inhale. Archer, twist. Reverse warrior, inhale. Side angle preparation. Forearm to thigh, hand to hip. Move the groins back. Pull your feet. When your groins go back, pull your feet toward each other. And press right heel down so your hips lift. From that space, turn the chest. Slide the right fingertips to the inside of the right foot. Pull the left shoulder back. Optionally, you can grab for a half bind. Left hand can reach for the thigh inside here. Or you can reach the hand to the sky. Let's do 5 breaths here. Stay strong in the legs, soft in the breath. Your right heel presses down actively and consistently. So when we avoid things that we dislike or are unattracted to or whatever you want to say, and we are attached to the things that we know, that we already like, that are already come easy to us, we miss out on our potential and tapping into the fullness of our humanity. We never experience the depths of who we actually are. And so the practice in the Yoga Sutras is to get comfortable in the rigor, in the effort, and that's called tapas, as we mentioned earlier. Tapas is the fire and the intensity of effort. Okay, and then release. And a lot of that effort could be in relaxing. Inhale to plank pose. Chaturanga. It just depends on your avoidances and your attachments. Inhale to do the practices which challenge us, which is different than what challenges someone else. Inhale, just be careful that your ego doesn't start taking over and belief systems don't start manipulating that, and release. Inhale, all fours, or plank. Exhale, down dog. You inside know the truth. Left leg to the sky, inhale. Step left foot forward. Rise, high lunge, inhale. Archer, exhale. Reverse. Side angle preparation. Groins back. Pull your feet toward each other. Now don't sink into the pose. Push your left heel down so your left buttocks fires up. From there, if you like, you can take a half bind. This is optional. Sliding the hand behind, grabbing the inner thigh, and the left fingertips down. Or your right hand goes up to the sky. And let's do 5 breaths, staying strong in the legs, pressing the left heel down. So since we, in the first part of this training, learned about the autonomic nervous system, or energy system of being either upregulating or downregulating. Now we're recognizing the question, the inquiry, the swadhyaya, is to ask ourselves if we're addicted or attached to one side or the other, and the feelings and the thoughts that go along with that. Are we attached to the upregulation experience? Are we attached to stressors? Are we attached, or do we avoid stressors? Are we attached to the effort, or do we avoid effort? Are we attached to challenge, or do we avoid it? Okay, release slowly. Step back, down dog on the exhale. Forward to plank pose. This time you're going to turn onto the outside edge of your right foot, Vashisthasana side plank. Take your left hand to the sky. If possible, turn your head and gaze to the top. Let's do 2 more breaths. You can optionally place the left foot in front for a kickstand or behind. 1 more breath. Do we avoid what is hard for us? Are we attached to it? Switch sides. These are the questions. It's not a right or wrong. It's a question that you ask yourself Right hand to the sky, left side. Let's do one more inhalation. Hands to the ground. Let's take a breath in plank, settle in. Chaturanga. Let's do upward dog. Hands go back a little further, roll the shoulders forward and up, right into it. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Enjoy 3 breaths here. There's a certain autonomy of freedom that comes about when we become aware of the inner belief systems that our whole life is operating on. When we become aware that there is a filter for which we see everything, that we are avoidant of certain things, certain comforts we're attached to, and we're avoidant of things that maybe are discomfortable or uncomfortable, uncomfortable, or things that we are perhaps unfamiliar with or afraid of because it is new or different, or we have a fear of failure, or we believe that we're not good enough, not capable enough, whatever it is, so we avoid it all. And as a result, we miss out on the opportunity to step into our fullest potential in anything in life. Lift the heels up on the next breath in, look forward. Empty it out, hop or step to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow. Please bend the knees, place the hands on the thighs, come up, chair pose preparation. So we move the knees back and push the heels outward away from one another. And what that does is you're gonna feel your outer hips engaged. So press the mat apart with your heels. Careful not to roll your ankles at all. Keep the outer ankles in, but push the heels out so you feel it really from the hamstrings trying to push apart. Your buttocks tries to push apart. Sit a little lower and form a back bend, lift your chest up. Okay, now that your back muscles are working, you might have an aversion to this. So you might avoid back muscle strength. I know a lot of people do. They get a little bit kind of weirded out by back muscle engagement. They're fine with engaging their core for whatever reason. As soon as the back starts to engage, they think something's wrong. And that's probably because we sit all day long disengaged in the back. And so if we can acknowledge that this is a pattern in the physical body where our low back muscles are weak, then we have the opportunity to strengthen them, to tap into our physical potential. Okay, so hips back, lift the chest, take the arms up. You'll notice that my upper back isn't overly arched, right? I'm not like this, right? The upper back is kind of full, relaxed. It's the low back that I'm aiming to strengthen here. Push the heels apart, take 2 more breaths. One more full breath in. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale. Press the backs of the hamstrings apart. Exhale, step or hop, Chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step right foot forward as you exhale, listen carefully. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. We're gonna take a twist. So I usually take right hand to thigh and take left elbow across, okay? Then right hand on top. From there, round your back, pull your belly towards the spine or a little towards your heart even, and then turn. Stay strong in the legs. Turn the belly, turn the chest. Let's do 2 more. Okay, separate the hands wide. Inhale slowly as you're coming up to archer. Exhale to reverse warrior. Listen, inhale, side angle, preparation. As you exhale, optionally, you can grab for a half or a full bind. If you get the bind, great. If not, half bind is fine, or grab a strap Scoop your right buttocks underneath. Try to come into the full variation of Baddha Parshvakonasana, bound side angle pose. If this doesn't work, you have option A, option B, and then of course the full variation. 2 more breaths. One more full breath in. And release. Pivot the back knee down, please. Right foot out to the right. Take a twisted thigh stretch, twisted monkey. Bend the back knee, reach back for your foot. Three more breaths. You can gently press your foot back into your hand, activate the quads. Okay, release the thigh stretch. Lizard pose. Bring the back knee forward a little bit. Stick your bum up to the sky so you get an arch in your low back. Then take your elbows down to the ground. Optionally, you can relax the back of the neck. Full breath in. Full breath out. 2 more breaths. One more breath. All right, lift the chest. Listen up, we're gonna step forward into Malasana. Left foot comes outside, the left hand. I'm gonna take an open twist, left hand to the inside of your thigh, right hand comes up to the sky. Lay the chest back. Take a full breath in and out. 2 more. Press your knees wide. Inhale. Exhale. Both hands to the ground slowly. Gently take a twist to the other direction. Right hand down. Let your spine absorb the experience for a second. And then start to turn. Knees press wide. Left hand to the sky. Let's do 3 breaths. Okay, unwinding. Turn the toes inward, straighten the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. One more, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Please bend the knees for chair pose. Hands can come to the thighs. Twist to the right. Left tricep, right thigh, right palm comes on top. Inhale, inflate the back body. Turn the belly, turn the chest. 3 more breaths. Slow and steady breath. Acknowledging if there's any sort of avoidance that comes up for you or attachments. The twists of the mind, the kleshas, raga and the vesha. Hands to the thighs, inhale, unwind. These are what create massive disequilibrium and form our belief systems. Twist about what is good, what is bad, what is right, or what is wrong. Inflate the back body. Exhale, turn. And as a result, it forms behavioral patterns, thought patterns, emotional patterns. Some of which serve us well, others hold us back, limit our potential, and limit our ability to experience the fullness of ourself and everything and everyone around us. We get caught up in righteousness, defending our beliefs and our patterns, and not caught up in oneness, samadhi. Start to unwind. Sit back a little bit lower. Use your back muscles, engage them as you come up, chair pose. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Walk, step, or hop, Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra pose. One breath though. Exhale, down dog. I'll give you one breath in here. One breath out. We're almost there, folks. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Step forward. Rise up, high lunge. Exhale, twist, hand to thigh, right tricep to the thigh. Place the palms on top. Our belief systems are rooted in the past, in our memories of who we were. And as a result, if we let smriti, our memory, control us, then what happens is we hold ourselves back from evolving, from changing, from growing, from expanding, from learning. And so as a result, we are no longer going to do the things that challenge us or put the effort forth. We get attached to who we were rather than who we're becoming. Inhale slowly, rise up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, side angle prep. And exhale all the way down. Optionally, half bind, full bind, or grab a strap. Scoop your left bum underneath, scoop the tail. Baddha Parshva Konasana. One more breath. Slowly unwind the arms. Pivot the back knee to the ground. Left foot out to the left. And let's take a nice thigh stretch. Okay, release your thigh stretch. Step the right foot outside the right hand. And we're gonna actually see, there you have two options. Option A, you lift up and take your right arm underneath and you try to take a bind here. Okay, let's see if we can find another angle. Okay, so you try to take the bottom hand, grabs the top wrist. Option B, a little more challenging, or a lot more challenging. So you get low, and you take your right arm in front of the leg to grab the open twist. So either underneath the leg, like so, a lot easier, around the front of the leg, a lot harder, okay? And then you open it up. Whichever you're choosing. Okay, unwind slowly. Again, option to go underneath here, or if it's possible, you can go in front. This is significantly more challenging, requires a lot more flexibility in the hips, in the shoulder, okay? Okay, and unwind. Turn the legs in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow.
All right, take your feet a little wider. You're going to take your right hand to the left ankle and your left hand to the right ankle to the best of your ability, or you just put your right hand here and your left hand here, okay? So either like so, or if you can, you grab the opposite ankle and look underneath. It's revolved Uttanasana, Parivrtta Uttanasana. Okay, start to unwind. Alternatively, here's another method you can try. Your right arm on top grabs the ankle, left arm underneath. I find this harder, but some of you might not, where you kind of just pull the elbows in opposite directions and look underneath. I find that way harder, but I know a lot of people go that way. Your right hand here, or you can kind of dip down, open up, maybe grab the ankle that way. And leaning right to left is going to make it more accessible to grab the left ankle. So if you lean into the left ankle, it's going to be easier to grab it. Start to unwind. All right, and let's just do one even Uttanasana, fairly wide is fine. Half lift, press the backs of your legs apart. Exhale, bow. Optionally, you can grab the backs of your legs if you like. Yoga toe lock, any variation is okay. All right, and let's come on down to a seated position for pranayama. Grab your block, anything you'd like to sit up on. Okay, whatever, that camera's not happy. So our pranayama today is, let's see, I've been debating between two. Let me think which one I think would be best. Let's do Bhastrika. So Bhastrika is the bellows breath. For many people, it's going to upregulate the system, which you could utilize in order to keep the mind focused and attentive. Some of you, that's going to create more anxiety and it's going to be too much, in which case you might want to go back to perhaps a box breathing. But in your box breathing, there's a way to shift so that you can stimulate the parasympathetic, so the down regulation. I'm going to ask you to try Bhastrika, see what the experience is, and then if you need to down regulate, what you can do is box breathing with the exhale of 6. So that would be inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. So a slower, longer exhale. Hold for 4. Inhale. So everything's 4, 4, 4, and 6 is the exhale. This will help down regulate the system if you get too up with this. So Bhastrika is a movement of the diaphragm. So your diaphragm has the ability to go down, it has the ability to go out, it has the ability to go up. And when it goes up, it forces an exhalation. When it goes down, it forces an inhalation. So when you inhale, your belly, if it goes out like this, what's going to happen is your breath is going to fill, or your lungs are going to fill up because there's a vacuum effect, pulls air into the lungs. And then when you pull the belly back, it forces the diaphragm up and pushes air out of your lungs.
And so Bhastrika is a movement of the diaphragm. So you can move your belly in and out, right? You can do that without breathing, but we're going to try to inhale, belly out, exhale, belly back. Inhale. Okay, so both inhales and exhales are intentional. All right, so you're moving the inhale by pressing your belly out, moving the exhale by pulling the belly back. Let's do it together. It doesn't have to be fast and it doesn't have to be like overemphasized. Just okay, breathe normally. Notice the sensations. For everybody, it'll give a little lightheaded feel. That's kind of normal, so don't worry about that. Obviously, if you feel like you're too lightheaded, then that's a problem. Open your eyes and make sure that you would go back to slow exhales. Just feel the vibration of your system. We're going to do another round, about 15 or so. I'm not going to keep strong track of the number, but be somewhere in that realm. Let's do it together. Observe how you feel. Observe what you feel. One more round of Bhastrika. Together, here we go. Notice how you feel. The mind has an attachment to reaction. We know this because we are constantly in thought, in emotion, in reaction to our senses. Part of the yoga practice is to interocept, to go inward beyond the reactivity of the mind. And so sitting in sensation after doing a pranayama can support you in that. What we're going to do now is do a visualization exercise. And this is to hold your mind's attention to the present, which for all of us will be a struggle. We remember the teachings of Yoga Abhyasa and also this teaching of tapas, the rigor, the challenges, embracing the fire. So when you feel slightly frustrated that you've lost your attention, you just come back and you say tapas, remember the fire, remember that I have an avoidance to holding my attention. I have attachment to settling into my thoughts or emotions. This is normal. Almost every human being I've ever experienced or met, right? Everyone that we've come across has this. This is just why the yoga system exists. So the visualization will be at the space right between your eyebrows, just slightly above. Not quite the center of the forehead, just a little bit below. And you might already, if you tune in there, you might feel a sensation. If you don't feel a sensation, what you could do is take your one finger and touch the area just between the eyebrows, a little bit up above the eyebrow line. Press hard just so you have a sensation there, and then release. Or you can pinch that area to stimulate it. Okay, this is going to help. If you stimulate the area, it'll help you hold your attention on it. And then I'd like you to almost rest your eyes as if you're looking at this point from within. And let's just picture a color, a shade of purple that works for you, whatever. You might see a color there already, and if it's not purple, that's okay, whatever color you see there. And rest your attention on that color. So see the color right at what's called the third eye center. Just an energy center where nerves, a collection of nerves are stimulating. There's an experience that's happening in your body at this point, which the yogis acknowledge. And so if we observe and can hold our attention here, the best case scenario is that we've trained the muscle of intention, or attention I should say, in the mind. Our ability to stay focused. And it is that focus that we can take into our yoga practice, into our life, so that we can be more present and more aware of our avoidance and attachments, raga and dvesha. We can be more aware of our comfort zones, and we can make more appropriate choices that lead us to a better future of freedom and joy. So let's take the time now to focus our attention on the third eye center, just above the eyebrows in the center. Observe the color in this space. And when you notice your thoughts start taking over, simply acknowledge it. Say thought. When you get wrapped up in an emotion, you can label it emotion. Or if it's helpful, you can label the emotion fear, anger, joy, love, curiosity. And then just come right back to the third eye center. Stay attentive, stay focused, visualize the color purple. Or if sensation is easier for you, then just feel into the sensation at the third eye. whichever comes easier to rest your attention and keep it here. Label the thought, thought. Label the emotion, emotion. I'm going to go silent for a couple of minutes to allow you the time and space to do this on your own. And I will call you back when our time is ready. Bring your attention back. If you drifted into thought or emotion, very normal. Just bring it back to the third eye center. What's the sensation or what's the color that you see? Okay, take a breath in. Exhale it out. Take a deeper breath in. And awaken fingers and toes. Stretch the arms overhead. For some of you, if this was a really rigorous practice, you might want to come into Shavasana to give yourself the physical space to release and allow the body to absorb all the changes that you made and to rejuvenate your energy. If you're feeling in a good space, then perhaps this is a great time to close. I will close the class with you all. And those of you that want to do Shavasana, you can of course just press pause and lay on your back. Bring the palms together and create some heat for those of you that are closing out the class. Place the palms over your eyes and take a breath in. Again, create some heat. Hands over the heart. Take a breath in. One more time. Hands over the belly. Take a breath in. And place the palms together. We bow in honor of this body, in honor of this breath, in honor of this mind that allows us to experience all of it, and in honor of each other for being here together to explore this practice we call yoga. Thank you so much. I hope that these teachings of Raga and Devesha serve you well, not only on the mat, but throughout your life. Namaste. Let's see if that works. No, can do. See if we can get a camera that works nearby. Okay. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed the meditation today, the Bhastrika and the Vinyasa today. If you have questions or you have something you share, I'd love to hear about the experience with Bhastrika and the Third Eye Center as well, or the Vinyasa practice. Place it in the Facebook group. I'd love to hear from you. As always, you're always welcome to, if you're filming parts of your practice and you want to share it on Instagram, I will always reshare it. And that's helps us all out, of course. You'll get the exposure and I get to share what you are all doing inside of this experience. Hey, Simona, thanks so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Patty, thank you. Grateful. Many blessings to you as well, Patricia. Thanks, my wife. Dance and Becca, much love. Sass, you're in there somewhere. Appreciate you for showing up on a Saturday. Hey, Uta, thank you so much. Glad you enjoyed class. Hey, Nina, welcome. Thank you so much. Visualization of the color third eye. Felt amazing. Beautiful weekend, everyone. You too. Thank you, Sabui. I'm glad you enjoyed it. No purple, but lots of red, orange, and yellow. Great. Good, good. Regina Bode, nice to have you in here live again. All right, everybody. Beautiful weekend. Enjoy yourselves. See you soon.